My name is Kaisa from Wreath by Kaisa, and we will be doing this Easter wreath together today. You can buy it with either this bunny bow or this striped chevron bow. You can also just buy it with both bows and just keep swapping them around over Easter. That way people will think that you've got a new wreath on the door, although you've only swapped the bow over. So you've purchased a wreath kit. This will have everything you need, just minus wire cutters that you might need to shorten some of the stems, and hot glue gun, which you can just easily buy off Amazon. But this is what we're going to be doing together today. Wreath making is my passion, my hobby. I absolutely love it. It's nice and relaxing. So please don't feel any pressure with anything. Grab a drink, grab a nice cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever you prefer, and just take your time and just relax and enjoy. You don't have to follow the instructions down to a T. You're allowed to use your own vision. You might think like, oh, why is she doing it like that? And I want to try this. Just go with it and just run with it, and just remember to have lots of fun. If you want to have a break, just pause the video, go and have a break, carry on the next day if that's what you prefer. But the most important thing is this is your time, so just relax and have fun, and let's make beautiful wreaths together. Let's get started. Just gonna tilt my camera over so you can actually see the area that I am working on. That's better. So in your packs, I'm just gonna show you briefly everything that you get. So you will have a rustic willow wreath. And in addition, you'll also have 10 of these barbecue sticks. You will have some Easter eggs. I've given you 6 large ones and then 4 of these smaller ones. Obviously your bow that you've chosen. We're going to be using some Ruskus leaf spray. This is really cute and just a really simple and easy material to work with, and a really nice quality. You'll also have 4 stems of these Easter eggs. Oh, what else? 4 stems of these are what's called filler flowers. So in this one, you've got a couple of daisies, 2 bits of different color daisies, and 2 of lavender. These vary from one kit to another just based on availability, but it also then means that your wreath will be that bit more unique and standing out. And on top of that, last thing, I've got some emergency repair kit, which is just some spare leaves that you can then, I'll show you how to use them. And what else? Some ribbon to hang your wreath with. And then you'll also get an aftercare card on how to look after your wreath. So first of all, we're gonna have a look at this one. I'm gonna take it a bit further so you see it. Can you see how wonky this shape is? Most of these grapevine wreaths are always wonky. It's impossible sometimes to try and find a straight one. But we're gonna be adding flowers to it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the wonkiness here, this is that we're then going to be using as a base to add flowers, and the other side of it is perfectly round, so that's the area that we're going to leave exposed. So to begin with your Ruskus leaves, you've got 2 ways to do this. I'm going to show you both. So one option is you can use your wire cutters. You count, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves here, and then if you snip it off, now you've got 2 mini ones. So this is one option, and we're just going to start pushing these into the grapevine wreath. You see there? And these, obviously, because these have been, when they've constructed them, you've got some wires going around them, and the wires work as a beautiful help. So I've done one where I've sort of shortened them. Then I'm going to do one in a full length. So then you'll sort of see the difference. And at this stage, I'm just putting these in. I'm not using any glue yet, just so that I can show you. We've just pushed in a couple of these leaves. So best way to always start is to sort of try and start visualizing where do you want everything to go. So if you put these in and you think, oh, that doesn't work there, if you've already glued it, it's then going to be really difficult then to take it off. But if you've just gently pushed it in, you can then say, actually, that doesn't work there, and I'm going to remove it. So I've got two ways of adding the glue. My glue gun is a bit messy because it's getting a bit old. So one way, which is sort of the best way to do this, just excuse me doing it the wrong way, is you add a bit of glue, twirl it around so you get rid of all the extra, and then you are just going to push this one in, and then you're going to let the glue dry. So that is one way. The other way, just because my glue gun is a bit messy, and sometimes because it's super hot as well, so this is more like an industrial one, sometimes I find that by the time I go to push the stem in, the glue has already dried. And also, just to make this video a bit faster, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here where I've pushed it already in. But as I said, feel free to do it whichever way you prefer, and whatever you think is best. So I'm going to snip this one off again, because basically we've got 6 stems of these. The top part, I think we're going to use 6. Sorry, we're going to use half of the 6. So we're going to use 3 for the top and then 3 for the bottom. So that's why it's nice and even. So that one goes really nicely there. And again, you can just take that stem off, add glue, and then push it back in. And then this one here, let's push this one in. Oh, it goes there really nicely. Okay, so at this stage you're going to look at it and think like, oh, that just looks like a bit of a mess. But this is the beginning, so it will look good in the end. Just giving a quick wipe. So let's then have a look at these ones. So you've got 4 of these stems. Now, these are all nicely bundled together. You can utilize these by just pushing these in as they are, or you can deconstruct these. So let's do it. So we're going to just use one as it is, and then we'll deconstruct one. So this is where you're going to use your wire cutters. So give it a really good, mine are getting already a little bit blunt because it doesn't seem to be cutting it properly. There you go. And let's twist that one back around. Otherwise it's not gonna go anywhere. Just want to get rid of these wires that are sticking out. There you go. So we're then gonna go, just gonna measure first and see where it goes in nicely. Then add the glue, because otherwise, as I said, if you glue it in, then realize, oh, actually it doesn't work there, then you're a little bit stuck. So let's have a look. Oops, sorry. So it doesn't want to obviously go there because I can't push it in. It's a very good indication that that is not going to work. Let's see it here. Just get in there. Sometimes you have to be a little bit forceful. There's a little notch here that I'm just trying to push it past. There you go. That's better. We're going to go up a bit. There you go. So I'm actually happy with it here. So we're going to add a little bit of glue. Let that one dry. And while that's drying, let's take out another one of these. And now we're going to deconstruct one of these as well. So let's just pull these apart. Because this way, as nice as it is that all the eggs are clamped together, but actually if you pull these apart and sort of deconstruct these, it will be a little bit easier to push them in, because sometimes you could see how much I struggled, but it's because that stem is so big. But if you chop these smaller, they're actually so much easier to maneuver these. So let's chop them. I'll put the rubbish on the other side. So now that I've sort of deconstructed these, I've got several of these smaller stems, which are now going to be so much easier to maneuver in here. so I don't have to fight with this one. So this one just goes nicely onto this side. Perfect. Then I'm gonna do one right next to it. Straighten this one up. There's a nice little gap here, so I'm basically just gonna push these two here and add a little bit of glue to secure them in place. And then I'm gonna go over to the outside of this. And let's push these ones in here. Let's go one by one just to make it a bit easier. So that one, can you see how easily these now push in, now that we've deconstructed them? Up to you how you want to do them, but it is a little bit easier if you just take them apart. And another one here. Also, sometimes some of these eggs can come a bit squashed, so we're gonna just chop this egg off, just because we don't like squashed eggs. And let's put these ones here. One here and one here. Oh, that looks so nice now. I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue here just to fix everything in place. I'll let it dry and then I'll show you what that then looks like. So we've now used half of our Brussels leaf stems. We've also used half of our Easter egg branches. We've got our filler flowers are still left here. So let's push in one of these onto this section here, just onto the outskirts. There we go. The glue's dried up now, so I'm just gonna have to squat down so you can actually see what I'm doing. So that's where I've added that one now. And then, let me show you, we can then add the other one. Let's now go to the inner side. So one we've added to the outskirts, one we've added to the inner side of that. I add a little bit of glue. Perfect. So then we've basically used half of our leaves, half of our egg branches, and half of our filler flowers. So then next we're going to be moving on to the eggs. Now with this one, I'm going to chop up my barbecue skewer a little bit shorter, and I am just going to put a bit of glue onto this end, twirl it around, and then let's push this one in. So what you can see now, when you look, can you see it almost looks like there's a toothpick just sticking out. But what we're going to do next, we're going to grab the toothpick and an egg, and we're going to push the egg, so then the egg can just sit nicely on that one. Now how cool is that? What this will also do, you saw how I said, oh, let's get rid of the damaged egg. Let me see where I put it so I can show it to you, because it was all squashed up and wrinkly. Sometimes these foam eggs, they will go a bit squashed up. If you then use these barbecue sticks to attach the big eggs, if for some reason you then get something knocks it and you get a dent on it, what you can then do is you just pull out the egg and just put another foam egg in on top of it, on top of the barbecue stick. So then this way, you don't have to waste the whole wreath. So that's one. Let's do another stick. I think this one, I want to stick this one here, if you can see, sort of sticking a little bit outwards. But let's put some glue on it first, onto the stick. It's now got some glue on, and let's push it in there. And then we're gonna grab our egg. Oop. Let's keep that one in place. There you go. We're gonna add a third egg as well. So another barbecue stick, I'm gonna leave this one a bit longer. And let's push this one in here. And then that'd be easy if you twirl these around a bit. Oops. Go a little bit deeper. And then your egg. So we've now done these 3 eggs on top, and that actually looks really, really good. You've then also got the smaller eggs, so you can then also just add some of these smaller ones. Now, you don't have to use these sticks. You could also just stick these eggs straight onto the wreath frame. And the reason why we're using these barbecue sticks is just so that you've then got the option of swapping the eggs if something knocks onto them. It's happened to me in the past. I've sent off Easter wreaths in the post, and then somebody has received it and said, oh, one of the eggs is dented. And obviously then it's really upsetting when that happens. So I've been thinking about it. How can I then do it so that won't be an issue? And I thought, oh, actually, why don't I use these sticks so that then we can stick these in, so then we don't have to worry about that. I can do one last egg, and then we're gonna measure for our bow. So it's easiest to do this if you do the top part first, get everything in, then think about where your bow's gonna sit, and then do the bottom part. And push this one in. Oops. It's just getting a little bit tight here. There's not much space left. Okay, that broke off a bit, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more glue here. So that is now a nice little cluster of eggs. So then what I think we're gonna do next, we're then gonna grab our bow, and obviously let the glue dry first. Don't add any bows onto it at this stage, but I'm just gonna hold this up in the air. And I'm just gonna roughly have a look and see where the bottom of the bow sits. So the bottom of the bow is about here. So then from this point onwards, I can then have my foliage starting. So then this way, I can sort of measure so that there's enough space for that bow to be sitting there nicely. So let's add a bit of glue onto this bit. Let's put one stem in here. And see, these ones now, I just put them in as they were. I didn't shorten them, but or divide them into smaller, but again, you can do that if you want. I'm just trying to show you as many different methods to doing this as possible, so then you can then choose what you want to do. So with these eggs, I think I've got enough space here to just push this in without deconstructing, but again, feel free to take it into pieces, because you can see that this is quite difficult sometimes to try and push everything in. So I think I can just about get one of these to go in, but then the other one I'm gonna have to deconstruct because there's just not enough space to push these through. Now let's take this one apart. Okay, gonna shorten that one and add a bit of glue. Just chopping these ones. And I've got another squashed up egg on this one, so I'm just gonna snap off the egg. As you can see, they are very easily just dented. So let's put this one in here and this one here. It's a nice space there. I'll put these ones a little bit higher because that's where I've got some of the foliage sitting as well. So that one can go there. And there's a nice little gap here, so I'm actually just going to push these ones in here as well. Okay, and then that little bit of glue, but as I said, just you can add the glue first and then push the stems in. And just, I'd really need to get a new glue gun, but I'm actually getting quite used to using it this way, so it works for me. Okay, so then I'm catching a little bit of glue as I push it in, because I'm pushing it from the same place. And then let's do these daisies in here. So now we've got the bottom done as well, just minus the eggs. So we can then get our barbecue sticks out again. At this stage though, I think what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to let it dry a little bit, just so that then I can measure that bow again, because you want to get the bow to sit nicely in the middle. So with these Rusker sleeves, the reason why I really like using this is if you look now, you can see that this is really poking out, but these are so flexible. So what you can do is just sort of wrap it around a couple of these egg stems, and then I'll show you the difference. Can you see now how nicely that just sits there? This is one of the reasons why I like using these ones in my wreath kits, because it's just such an easy material to be working with, and then you don't need to worry about anything. Okay. So then, let's do this now with this chevron bow. So if I put this bow in here, it then shows me. So the bow's already ready made just to make your life easier. So now there's actually a perfect gap there for the bow. What it just shows is we can see some of these barbecue sticks are sticking out. So we need to make sure that we cover them. And then onto this section here, at the bottom section, we haven't added any eggs yet. So now, I think what I want to do is I want to try and leave this stick a lot longer, so that then the eggs just sit a little bit higher. So let's push this one in. There's a nice little gap here. So that one goes in there. And we will push the egg to there and just push it all the way in. Okay, and we still got 3 eggs left, but I don't really know if we need to use all of these, but there's no harm, obviously. The more eggs the better. And let's push this one in here. And it's sometimes, these grapevine wreaths are the easiest ones to be working with, but even with these ones, sometimes it's difficult to try and sort of find the gaps, as in where you can then push things in. I'm actually going to do this one the other way around. So I'm then going to add the blunt end to the egg. There you go, just so that I can get that one in. So now I've got 2 eggs at the bottom, and then I've got 3 big ones at the top. Now this one here, I'm going to pull off this egg and I'm going to replace it with one of these slightly bigger ones. So I'm just going to basically just be using the wire from one of these ones, pull off the egg and just push it in, so then I get a nice bigger egg there. So at this stage, what we're going to do is we're now going to have a look at these. You know when I said to you that there's like emergency repair kits, so our little leaves. So I'm a perfectionist with my wreaths. I don't like it if I see these stems or this barbecue stick sticking up. I don't like it if I see any bits of glue sticking anywhere. So these are then what we can then use. We put a little bit of glue onto the leaf and we then just stick them on to wherever you feel is that you can see a little bit of the eggs, not the eggs, sorry, the sticks for the eggs, or glue, or anything else that you don't want to see. So these are then the perfect way to cover up anything that shouldn't really be visual. I'm gonna put one here. So with just a couple of leaves, it's already looking like all of these bits are already covered. So then we're gonna add our bow. And as I said, I've tried to make this wreath kit like really nice and simple. So it's nice crafting. It's not too much to worry about how to do it, but equally the end result will look really good. Now let's straighten up our camera and then let's have a look. Oops, upside down. So look, it looks really, really cute. You can then adjust your bow, you can put it a little bit higher, but this is basically as simple as it is to put this wreath kit together, and it looks really good. Aftercare advice comes there, so spray it with hairspray, and then just try and protect it from severe weather conditions. And you will have in your wreath kit, you will have either some rustic twine or some ribbon to hang your wreath up with. Now, I hope you've enjoyed making this, and please tag me on social media, show me your finished wreath, and I hope you had as much fun creating this as I did. See you later. Bye.